And so when we think about that racial reckoning that we are now enduring, we know a couple, three things as I end. First of all, if we're going to be serious allies, we have to understand there are multiple levels to this. As Meek Mill says, there's level to this ish, right? If you're going to be an ally where you just put a black box out on Instagram, that's one thing. It's good, it's helpful, but it ain't substantive. It's symbolic. Symbols are critical, they're crucial, but they are not exclusively important. And we must tether them to concerted action and uplifting behavior that will change the stakes of the game of social justice, the game of Black people living in a country, brown people living in a country where they will not be subject to this kind of death. And so in that instance, your allyship must be proved far more than a black box. It must ask serious questions at the corporate place, at the workplace. How are we distributing goods? Who's making the decisions here? How are people integrated into the larger fabric of American society? How are we talking about everything that ends with the word system, public education system, criminal justice system, right? So when we think about the word system and systemic inequity, every word that ends in system must be examined through the prism of racial liberation and engaging in forms of thinking and practice that free us. And we need white allies and other allies to make those points and to make that case. But moreover, we've got to see the kind of reaction against this racial reckoning, because even as we pledged, and many corporations pledged to reckon, what happened? There was a backlash. And the backlash has been an anti-critical race theory. You don't even know what critical race theory means. You didn't know what it meant a year ago. But now a young man, Christopher Rufo, I believe is his name, I stand to be corrected, went out looking at the anti-racist literatures, found the repeated citation of critical race theory, knew that that would become a bête noire and a rallying cry and a whipping boy and girl for the right wing and for those who were conservative and those who didn't want to do the hard work of racial reconciliation and racial reckoning, and found a lazy ethical way out by stigmatizing and demonizing Black and brown peoples themselves. That kind of reaction must be acknowledged, addressed, and pointed to. And finally, we must all in our institutions at OSU Cascades, this tremendous institution, finally applying a serious self-examination, a serious self-inventory to what's going on, so that we can look at how higher institutions of higher education are perpetuating, either consciously or unconsciously, legacies of bigotry, legacies of inequality, legacies of educational apartheid, legacies that make people feel uncomfortable in their own skin in a society, educationally speaking, that should be open to all. And so as we reckon with race, we've got to reckon with these differences. Just a few things for you to think about